Charlie was a very normal child, hit all of his milestones up until the age of 2.5. He was healthy, was not a sick child, was just thriving.
We're just driving down the street and I heard kind of a gasp. It was kind of an odd gasp. I look in the rearview mirror and Charlie's basically turning blue and just complete panic set in.
We were talking on the cell phone together and he said, "Oh my gosh, Charlie's dying." And I thought Charlie was choking. And later I learned that he had a seizure.
He had no idea what, at the beginning for the first few weeks what was happening, and he would have he would basically just collapse. A couple times he stopped breathing.
And so finally by June, Charlie was having several hundred visible seizures a day, or at least 100 and up to 200 visible seizures a day.
Charlie had a series of seizures. One was called the drop seizure, where he basically, his head would move forward like this, he'd lose consciousness and basically fall straight to the floor, kind of like a wet noodle, had no control of his body, and that's one of the many types of seizures he had.
There's a slow spike on a child's EEG, and that's a slow wave spike, and that was definitely what Charlie had on his EEG. While I didn't know exactly what it was, I just knew the word, Lennox Gastaut Syndrome. I knew that was not a good diagnosis for him.
With Lennox Gastaut Syndrome, it's such a rare disease and it's such a debilitating disease for little boys that it happens so fast. You only have a short period of time to stop the seizures.
Many children with LGS have delays, have cognitive delays, have fine motor, gross motor skill delays, and I remember getting the diagnosis, and I believe at that time he said there was about a 96% chance that Charlie would really experience some significant delays in his life. And I said, you know what, Charlie's going to be the 4% when I left. And he said, if anybody can be, Charlie can be. Charlie was on 5 different medications. We had a respite care nurse for 18 months, full-time with Charlie. I did a lot with Charlie's diet and really trying to watch, we watched what he ate and to see if there was any correlation. We did some metabolic testing. We ran the gamut. And we charted everything because we wanted to see if there was a pattern, if there was something that maybe made him seize, if there was a pattern with medications. And we were very, very, very diligent about that. And so, again, providing him many, many experiences, preschool experiences, field trips, things like that, and recording everything we saw with it. And you definitely find what works for your child. And for us, we found, a lot of stimulus. What we really wanted to promote was his brain continuing to develop and to not stop at because of the meds and because of the seizures. And so while creating a lot of stimulus was great, it also was very tiring. He would tire quite easily due to medications and seizures. One of the things when he would have a seizure, he would be very tired.
You have to be a 100% advocate for your child. You can't rely on other people or other doctors, or if you're not satisfied with the answers you're hearing about your child, if nothing's getting better, you've got to be the advocate for your child to take it further. We're very fortunate that we had the doctors in place to help us immediately, but initially, before we were able to go up to St. Paul Children's Hospital, we were basically told that Charlie had basic epilepsy, that he's going to be just fine, and we just knew in our heart that it was not getting better.
They really were open-minded, did their due diligence. If I asked them a question, I know they had so many other patients, but they did, if they needed to do research or if they needed to take a little extra time, they would. Charlie went from having, at last count 150 seizures a day to now, at age 6.5, he'll be 7 in July, he is medication-free for 2.5 years, seizure-free for 3 years, and we are just so thankful to be where we are. His EEG has come back clear several times, and MRIs are clear now.
Don't chew gum in class. David, raise your hand. Again.
I don't want to give false hope, but I really feel like even if your child, I don't need a perfect child, but if maybe people can if we can do our research and find some great combinations of medication or different surgeries or different things of that sort, or even find out, obviously find that cure. So there's so many unanswered questions, and so the only way that we can begin to understand and move forward is to get out there and talk and network and connect with people, and so that's what I'm trying to do.